I'm Cookie, and I'm going to be your mind-body coach for today. And today we're going to be working on some restorative yoga poses to open the heart. My goal for this video is really to give you 6 poses that you can do. You can do them in a sequence if that works for you, or you can take them and pair them, or just pick one pose. And basically the reason I chose these poses was for 2 reasons. One is I'm looking at the way in which the majority of us work at home, where we're slightly rounded in our shoulders, and we've got gravity constantly working on us, and our bodies are in this kind of what we call that kyphotic posture. And I think it's really important that sometime during our day we're opening that body up. So that was the first kind of thought process as to why I put this together. It's important for us to work the body in the opposite modality that we're doing for the majority of our day. And I will tell you that opening up and doing these gentle back bends really will help with your neck and shoulder health. So if you're getting a lot of neck and upper shoulder kind of tension, this will really help with that. Okay, so number one. The second reason I chose these poses was really to help us move during our times of stress and maybe anxiety and anxiousness. For many of us, we close down our heart chakra because it's a protective thing. It's a way that we kind of limit the amount of anguish that we're feeling. But when we do that, sometimes when we shut down that heart space, that ability to connect with not only ourselves but with other people, we shut that ability to come with compassion and empathy for ourselves, but also for other people. So I want this video to help you be aware of staying open with your heart when we interact with ourselves or with others, so that we can emit that nice empathy and compassion with ourselves and with others. So that's really the reason I chose to do this video. The other thing is that for many of us, we never take some downtime, and we do need to do that. We need to have downtime, introspection, time that we can go inward and kind of evaluate where we are, what's going on, and allow emotional healing to take place. Because you may not think that you're stressed, but for the most part, most of us are. And this is a really good way to open up a space for you to allow that little bit of peace and silence to kind of come into your day. So, having said that, 2 things. One is, this is one of the resources that I've been using. This is a book by Julia Clark. It's called Restorative Yoga for Beginners. It's a great little book. And what I like about it, it has a variety of sequences in here. And the one that we're doing today is called A Grateful Heart. So I really like that. We're going to be using a chair, a blanket. If you don't have a yoga blanket, don't worry about it. If you have a good thick beach towel or a regular blanket, that will work just as well. I've got 2 beach towels here and a pillow. Okay? So what I want to do is start really quick with a little bit of a kind of an opening and setting the stage, so to speak. So I want you to come into a comfortable seated position. It can be cross-legged. If you've got some knee issues, you can take a blanket or a towel. You can wedge it between your calf muscle and your hamstring, so kind of right in the crease, and then come into a seated position. And what that does is it supports the knee. So that may be comfortable for you and help you to sit more comfortably. You could put the soles of your feet together, and you could put 2 blankets on either side of your knees to kind of support your knees here. So that would be an option. You could just sit with this blanket right underneath your knees, so you're up in a nice tall position. That would be acceptable. Whatever works for you from a level of comfort, because the most important thing is that you're not in pain when you're doing any of this. You want to stay in a very relaxed modality state, so that you can allow the body to just release and let go. So it's important that you're able to do that. So I'm going to come back to this cross-legged position, And what I'd like to do is open with my heart chakra bowl. This is a crystal bowl that is attuned to the heart chakra. And I'm going to strike it, and then I'm going to go ahead and sing it. And what I want you to do is, as that bowl is singing, is just close your eyes and just focus on your breath. And imagine this area of your heart just being more open and expanding. And it's going to expand to fill this room with peace, compassion, whatever things you want to think about from a heart-centered place that work for you. That's what I want you to do. So I'm going to go ahead, bring the bowl up. Go ahead and close your eyes. Just focus on your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Just allow your eyes to relax. Relaxing your mouth and your jawline. Relaxing your shoulders. Relax your legs. Your feet, even your toes should be relaxed. Focus on your breath one more time. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And then very gently allow your eyes to open. All right, so we have some equipment here. As I said, we've got a chair. I've got a yoga blanket, but if you don't have a yoga blanket, again, you can just use a regular blanket, no problem. So we've got the towels and a pillow. We're going to go ahead and get started. So the first pose that we're going to do is a very gentle back bend, very gentle heart opener. You're going to need the 2 towels. I'm going to use one, which is going to be rolled for my knees, and one that I'm going to create this long tube. So if I open it up, it's folded in half and folded in half. And then from here, I'm creating maybe like a 6-inch fold, and then I'm just doing that folding over, and I want it to be flat as opposed to round on this one, okay? So I'm going to lay the long one up my mat, and the very edge of this towel is going to go right where my shoulder blades start, okay? And this one is for my knees. So I'm going to turn, and I'm going to set my knees. My knees are going to be about hip width apart. And I'm just letting that blanket relax, my knees, relax over the blanket. I'm going to lean back, and I'm going to find where my tips of my shoulder blades are, and I'm going to let my upper body kind of come down onto my back. And from this position, what I want to do is I'm going to put my elbows on the ground, lift my chest up a little bit, and try to get my shoulder blades more together on my back. As I turn my palms up, I'm just going to extend my arms down. And now I'm just going to relax everything. So it's sort of like being in an anatomical position. This is a traditional Shavasana position. And we're just here breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And I want you just to relax your eyes, relax your eyebrows. Relaxing your mouth and your jawline. Now when you let go of your legs, your hip sockets, you're going to notice that the legs are going to externally rotate a little bit, and that's completely normal. So just allow the hips to release. Relax that abdominal wall. Relax your feet, even your toes. So your fingers, your toes, everything is relaxed. You're just focusing on the breath. And as you kind of bring your focus back to the heart, I want you to inhale all the wonderful things that you have in your life that currently are working. And exhale all the frustrations, the things that right now are maybe just inhibiting you from being able to let go. everything that is working. Exhaling all of the frustration. And with each inhale, I want you to feel like you're more connected to this pose, and with each exhale, I want you to soften and surrender to the pose. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the arm position and start to open up the chest a little more. So from here, I'm going to bend my arms, and I'm going to reach my arms up, and I'm going to take my elbow straight out, right out, so that my shoulder and my elbow are in one line. And now I'm just going to let the back of my hand go to the floor. And when you do that, you're going to feel this stretch through the pectoral into the deltoid a little bit. And we're just, again, breathing. Once you settle into the pose, go ahead and just relax the hands. And scan your face for any tension, just let it go. Go back to breathing in and out through the nose. With the inhale, again, kind of imprint that pose. Feel how it feels. Where do you feel a little bit of tightness? Where do you feel a little resistance in the body? And then with your exhale, you're just letting go. Let it go. Let's do 2 more breaths here. So in a normal restorative, you may pick 1 or 2 poses. You're going to stay in those poses for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, kind of focusing on your breath, maybe on the aspects of being in this open heart position. But because I want you to see these poses kind of together, in this video you're going to be going through these a little bit quicker than you normally would. And then I want you to come back on your own and either pick them in pairs or do all of the poses, whatever you want, and spend more time on just relaxing and kind of imprinting into the pose. So what I want to do is open up the hips the same way that my chest is open. So I'm going to take a breath in, I'm going to bend my knees and bring my feet to my blanket here, or to my towel. From here, I'm going to bring the edges of my feet and the soles together and just allow my knees to open. I've got the outer edge of my feet on my towel. Soles of my feet are together, and I'm just relaxing and letting the inner thighs open. So once I'm in the pose, I'm going to connect the feet, the soles, and then I'm going to relax the feet. I'm going to observe the weight of my ankles in the towel and then just let that go. And I'm going to observe the tightness, the energy in my inner thigh and in my outer hip socket, and just let that go. And again, with each inhale, I'm just observing everything, and with each exhale, I just want to surrender to what this pose can offer. Let's do 3 more breaths here. I have 1 more breath. And very gently, I'm going to start to bring my arms out first. And because this is a very vulnerable position for this inner groin and outer hips, I'm going to use my hands to help me bring those knees together. Nice. And then I'm going to gently just kind of turn myself and roll over onto my side and come up to a seated position. Very nice. Okay, so we're going to go to the next set of poses. I'm going to use this long tube. This time it's going to go across my mat instead of the same direction, so it's perpendicular. And I'm going to be laying on it with my rib cage. My lower part of my rib cage is going to be on the front side, and the rest of my rib cage is going to go up and over. So now what we want to do is we're going to be opening the side rib, but also the heart and the chest as we lay on our side. I'm going to use the towel that I had for my knees. It's going to go in between my knees. And in this one, I'm going to come onto my knees, and what I don't want is my knees to be absolutely stacked. I'm going to actually have my top leg, this is my right leg, slightly down, but I'm going to have this towel here for a little bit of an inner groin connection. So I want to make sure that the blanket is on my lower rib, and my bottom arm is going to be extended. So already I'm feeling, because the blanket is pushing my ribs up, that there's going to be an opening in this top side. I'm going to take my top arm, big breath in. On my exhale, I'm going to reach it past my ear, kind of behind, and then just let it relax. So I'm going to hug in with my inner thighs. Think about breathing and lifting up from this upper rib cage, and then just letting my body kind of soften over the other side. My feet are relaxed. My hands are relaxed here, and I'm just allowing these arms to kind of give my head a little bit of a hug here. And I'm just breathing in and out through the nose. And again, as you breathe in, I want you to think about, what do you feel? I feel that towel on my bottom rib cage. I feel like my top rib cage is lifted and expanding. Just relaxing the eyes, the mouth, the jawline. Good. Let's do 2 more breaths here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add more of a rotation, and we're going to open up the chest a little more. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my top arm back over, and my bottom arm is now going to come straight out. Now here you may want to grab your blanket and put your head on something here. So I've got a space where my arm is in between these 2 props. I'm going to gently hug here, and I'm actually going to slide forward a little bit because I need more space on the back side. So from here, my arm again is right level with my armpit is at 90 degrees here. I'm going to take this top arm, I'm going to lift it, and I'm going to allow my rib cage to open as this back arm comes all the way over. And what wants to happen is that top leg wants to come away, so I'm going to gently hug that blanket or that towel as I open. And I'm going to turn my head and actually look at my backhand with my eyes. And then you can close your eyes. So you're going to feel a lot of opening through this chest. And I want to turn the head so that I can stretch all the way down from this outer side of my neck. I'm gently hugging in with my knees here, and I'm feeling this stretch all the way up my waist. For some of you may feel the IT band connecting here. So again, with your inhale, just observe what you're feeling. And with your exhale, just relax and surrender to the pose. Keep the breath going. We're going to do 2 more breaths here. slowly I'm going to remove the back arm and bring it back over. Come back. And I want you to kind of take a moment, because anytime we're opening or have a rotation in the body, you're going to notice that there's a lot of restriction in blood flow, and then when you unwind or you come out of something like that, it takes a moment for the body to re-regulate. So take a moment here, and then we're going to go and redo this on the other side. So I'm going to leave this where it is, and I'm just going to turn myself to the other side here. Again, making sure that this is lined up with my rib cage. I'm going to take this out for right now, because I'm going to extend my arm here. I've got my knees staggered. Top arm reaches over slightly. So I've got my hand behind my head here, fingertips. Let me move this so you guys can see. So bottom arm, top arm. And I'm just breathing here, gently hugging the blanket between my knees. Breathing in and out through the nose. You should be feeling this nice stretch up through this rib cage into that back. The heart is just slightly open. We're going to do 2 more breaths here. Inhaling to observe the pose. Exhaling to surrender. Just let gravity work on you right here. I'm going to take that top arm, bring it up. My bottom arm goes straight out. Here's where your blanket could come in for your little head. Okay? I'm going to take the top arm. It's going to open up all the way over. So what I observe for myself is that my rotation to my left side is a little bit tighter. I'm a little bit tighter on my left, which is interesting, because normally your dominant side is a little tighter. So I'm going to hug the blanket. I'm going to allow the arm to release. Now, if this would be too intense for you, you guys, you can bring something to support you here. So if you get into a pose and it's just too intense, you're going to prop so that you wouldn't be over as far. And then gradually allow yourself to, as your flexibility increases, you'll be able to come down. So from here again, I'm going to go ahead and turn my head. I'm looking at my left fingers, and then I'm just going to close my eyes. I go back to this hugging of the blanket here. I'm going to lift into this rib cage, breathe. As I relax my shoulder towards the floor, I feel this nice opening of the chest. And again, you're just breathing in to what you feel with the pose, the areas that are tight, the areas where you might feel a little tension. And then as you exhale, you're just going to relax and let it go. Good, let's do 3 more breaths. So again, I'm feeling that stretch all the way through the rib cage, up through the hip. You might feel it in your IT band. Good, 1 more breath. Nice, I'm going to turn my head. I'm going to bring my back arm over. I'm going to hang out for a couple seconds, kind of let the body recalibrate. And then when you're ready, you're going to come up. Very nice. All right. Okay. So you could have been working those poses kind of in pairs. So the very first one where we laid down, I had you in the anatomical, and then I had you take the arms out, and then so those could be a pose, and then you could add the soles of the feet together. We were still in that position. Three could be worked together. You could go into the side modalities, the very first one all the way open, the second one with the rotation. That could be its own modality. So now the next ones I'm going to show you are with the chair. And then we'll finish up with one that we're going to be half with the chair and half on the ground. So let me move this, and I'm going to grab this chair. So for this one, you're going to choose a leg position that works best for you. So you can have the legs straight. You can have the soles of your feet together. I'm going to do a straddle position. But no matter which you choose, I want you to bolster your legs. So if you're going to do soles of the feet together, you could have a towel on either side like this, okay? If you're going to do the legs straight, you could have a towel under your knees. I'm going to do one on each side, so I'm going to use one towel for one knee and one towel for the other. I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to open it up and just lay it on my chair, just so I have a soft spot here. So let's go ahead and do this. I've got one towel there. Of course, I had to unroll it. Now it's all a mess, but we'll just coming all apart here. Okay, let's fix it right up. Okay, so once you have your towel folded, I've got one on each knee. Alright, and what I want you to think about is we're going to be forward here with our forehead on your chair. So I'm going to reach back and pull my glutes out from underneath so that my two sits bones are right directly down. I want to have a nice extension in my spine. My forehead is going to be resting on here, and then we'll talk about arm positions. So from here, I want to be able to rest my forehead. And when I do, I want a nice alignment of my spine. I don't want my neck, my cervical spine flexed up or flexed down. I want to maintain a nice extension so it matches my thoracic spine. So from here, I'm leaning forward and I'm going to rest that. That feels pretty good for me. So the hands can be staying right here. You can hold the chair. You can rest your hands right on the top of your shins. You could bring your hands in and do a mudra here, whatever works for you. You could bring your hands up. What I'm going to do is have my hands here. You could hold the chair and have your arms extended. You could have your arms reaching through and grabbing onto the back legs. Whatever you choose, I don't want any tension in the arms. I want you to be able to relax, okay? So whatever you choose, just make sure that you can be relaxed. So again, I'm relaxed in the legs. I'm leaning forward. I'm going to rest my forehead, and I'm going to bring my arms up right here. There's an engagement of the core as we extend the spine, but my head is totally relaxed. And really, I'm resting right on my third eye. And I'm just focusing on my third eye right now. My heart is actually facing downwards, so it can expand. I'm focusing on my back ribs where the breath is just expanding and contracting those ribs. And with each inhale, I'm just aware of the pose. I'm aware of what I feel, and with each exhale, I just want to relax more. And where I notice I'm holding a little tension is in my legs, so I want to let go of my legs, let go of my feet. Be aware of any tension in your mouth or jawline, just let it go. Good, let's do 2 more breaths here. This pose is actually a really great restorative pose. When you've got a lot of stress and anxiety, it's a really good one to practice some breathing techniques with. Also, it's really good for a headache If you've got headache, this is a really nice pose to come into. So that is that pose. Now, we're going to go into our final pose. You could do the one we just did and the one I'm going to do, and that would be a really nice pairing of poses to do for restorative yoga as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take my yoga blanket and I'm going to make a tube, a flat tube, and I'm going to bring it back here. And I'm going to use one of my towels for my head. So what we're going to be doing is my legs are going to go up. I'm going to use the blanket for my back, and this blanket is going to come right to where my glutes are, and this towel is going to be where my head is going to go. So we've got a little crisscross down there. I'm going to slide forward and bring my legs up and see how this feels. I'm not going to get right to 90 degrees, but I want to go as close as possible. And now I'm going to reach back and I'm going to pull my blanket in, and I'm going to peel myself right on my blanket, and I've got my pillow here. So once you're in this position, I want you to kind of just find what is comfortable, kind of get your legs comfy. I'm going to bring my arms up, and the very first aspect is I'm going to interlace my fingers except for my index, and I'm going to bring my arms over my head. My thumbs are going to drop and touch the floor. Now, if you're not able to touch the floor, you can bolster, you can rest your hands on a pillow back there, so that if you've got shoulder stuff going on and that's too intense, just take it to where you can go. So I'm going to interlace, reach up, take a breath in. I'm going to connect my core initially because I want to protect my back, and I'm going to bring my arms over, and my biceps are resting on my pillow, right where my head is, and I have them squeezed, and my thumbs are on the ground. And now I'm just going to let my arms relax. And I'm just going to focus on my breath. I'm going to start with my feet this time, relaxing my feet. I'm going to let the chair do the work. I'm just going to let the legs relax. I'm going to try to get a little heavy right in my sacrum, my lower back. And now I can feel where the blanket starts and where my head is, and I want to relax my entire spine into that blanket. I'm letting the head be heavy, and I'm just relaxing the arms. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. I'm going to do about 4 breaths, 5 breaths here, and then we're going to change the arms back to those cactus arms. So very gently, I'm going to soften my elbows so I can bend them. I'm going to bring my arms back up. Now, my elbows are going to go right out to where my shoulder and elbow are in one line, and I'm just going to relax the arms down. So because my blanket is thicker than my towel, I have quite a bit more space that my heart is lifted above where my elbow is. And so I'm feeling a really good stretch in my chest. Remember, if it's too intense, you could have something underneath your forearms, or you could get a thinner towel to be on top of. You're going to just see what works for you. And so with each inhale, I'm just observing the areas where I feel the work. And with each exhale, I'm just surrendering to that work, letting gravity do its job. Thinking about being that heart-centered person, coming from a place of the heart, being open, having compassion and empathy, kindness, all of the attributes that we really need right now. for ourselves and for those around us, for our community and for the world. So this could be a pose in itself. You could even just use this pose. You could add this pose and then instead of having the chair here, you could do legs up the wall, which would be a great pose as well. You could change the feet to bring the inner edges. They're not going to match right together, but kind of the feet together here. You could cross one ankle over the other. Whatever kind of feels good, comfortable, secure is a great asset and will help you with this pose. So even if you add your own flavor, it's not wrong. It just, if it feels good, do it. I'm going to go ahead and start to wiggle my fingers. I'm coming out of the pose, bringing my arms down. Now to come off the chair, again, our feet have been elevated above our head. So when we bring our feet back down, we just want to kind of give the body a few minutes to kind of readjust, recalibrate. So I'm going to bring my feet off the chair and I'm just going to roll off my blanket kind of right onto my side and kind of take a couple of moments to recalibrate. And then gently you can come up to a seated position. And what I want you guys to do is go ahead and come back to where we started. And I'm going to move this chair into a comfortable cross-legged position. Up nice and tall. Hands on the front of your knees. Remember, you can be cross-legged, you can be legs straight, legs in a straddle. Use a bolster underneath your legs. Allow your head to kind of bow towards your heart. Bring your hands together right in front of your heart. I'm going to finish up with our bowl again. To our hearts, because our hearts are the place of true peace, compassion, and love. And when each of us are in that space, we are truly one. It's been my honor to be with you all today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Let's all go forth and lead with our heart. And I think if we do, things will get better. Thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.